Okay, greetings class. This is IT 103 Database Management. The first thing I want to do is, this is for course project 1G, your college construction. This is on page 120 in your textbook. The first thing that you'll need to do is you'll need to go ahead and get the student files that are required for the assignment. So what we'll do is we'll go to the web page. Here's the web page that you can get the student files from. I've also written this in the lesson 1 deliverables. So you can get the student files. So you go to that website, you click on student data files. We're going to click on chapter 1 because you are doing chapter 1. We're going to save your student data files. It does save as a zip file, so you will need to extract it. So here it is. So I use 7-zip to extract my files, but you can also use Windows, right? You can open with Windows Explorer and just click on where you need to go. And what you're getting is 1G, right? You're needing these two files, 1G contractors, 1G projects. So we're going to go ahead and take that out. I already have them there, so I'm just going to replace them. Okay. The next step is you need to go ahead and open Microsoft Access 2013. I just type it in. We're going to create a blank document. I only clicked it once so that I could name that document now. I'm going to name it last name, first name, 1G, college, construction. I'm going to click create. So there's the name of it. It opens the table, or opens a table to this database. The one thing I want to show you here is there's many references to the navigation pane in the textbook. So if I minimize that, you could see the words navigation pane. So when it says open or close the navigation pane, you're just doing it from right here, navigation pane. Okay, the next thing it's asking us to do is it's asking us to create the fields shown in table 1. So on page 120, there's a table 1 at the bottom. And what it's asking us to do is asking us to create a field that's short text. So I right click, I went to short text, right? It changes it up here, short text. And it's asking me to name that building project. And all I did there was I just clicked on it to change that field, right? I'm gonna make this a bit bigger. The next, it asks us to create a short text. So right click, short text. We're creating a field that's just short text, and we're going to name it site. It then asks us to right click, short text, to create a short text named contractor. And then it's asking us to create a field that's with currency, and we're going to name that budget amount. I'm getting those items from page 120 where it's telling me what to create, what field name, and what data type. So field name is up here, building project. Data type is short text. Okay, the next step it asks us to do is to, for the field ID, change the data type to short text. So we click on that, we're going to change it to short text. And we're going to rename the field to project ID. Okay, class, the next step we're going to do is it's asking us to enter the 3 records shown in table 2. So the 3 records in table 2 are on page 120. What I'm going to do is I'm going to type 1 in, and then I'm going to pause the video. I'll type the other 3 in while it's paused, so we're not wasting time on you watching me typing the records in. So I'm just copying basically the items that are on the bottom of page 120. Site northeast, and I try to make this type it as same as possible as it is there. So if there's capital letters or lowercase, I'm going to do that. 614500000. Okay, so we're going to take pause here. I'm going to type the other 2 records. When we come back, you'll see those 2 records in there. Okay. The records, all 3 records now from that table are entered, and you get this on page 120. Next, we're going to save the table, and we're going to name it. So we're clicking on the X right here to close the table. It prompts us and says, do you want to save the changes to the design of table 1? Click yes. It'll ask you for a table name. And in the book, the table name is last name, first name, Schmeling Daniel 1G Projects. We're going to go ahead and capitalize that G. Hit OK. And our table has saved. Okay, class, the next step we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and import some data from our XR student files. So all we need to do is click on the External Data tab. Right, our table is still closed. We're going to import an Excel spreadsheet. We have to find that Excel spreadsheet first. We browse to it. The name of that, if you remember, was A01G Projects. We're going to click on that Excel spreadsheet. It tells us to append and copy the records to the table. Now we could select different tables. We only have one table created, so we're going to go ahead and append and copy the records to that table, which is the table we just made. We're going to click OK. And this basically tells us how it's going to be imported in. So that looks correct, right? We do see the project ID, the building ID in the right and correct spots. So we're going to click Next. It's asking us again, import to what table? And I'm going to click yes. Now here what we can do is we can save these import steps so we can quickly repeat it. But in this case, we're going to do just close. So now what happens is when we open our table, we're going to see all 8 records, right? We know we did this correct when we see 8 records in there. Remember that we entered 3 and now there's 8. Okay, class, next the textbook is asking us to go into the design view. So we're going to make sure we're clicked on Home tab. We're going to click on the view. We're going to go to Design View. And it's asking us to change the field size for Project ID. So we're going to click on Project ID. We're going to change the field size to 5. Next, it's asking us to enter a description in the Project ID field. And it's telling us to enter Project ID using the format P-number. It's asking us to save the changes. Click here. We'll click. Do you want to save the changes? Yes. We've saved the changes. The next step, class, is that we're going to go ahead and make sure that all the fields are best fit. In order to do that, you just right-click on a field, and you click Field Width and Best Fit. Right. So from our previous step, we had our database closed. You just double-click on the database. You make sure that you're in Data Sheet view, and you right-click Field Width Best Fit. And you're going to do that for all your entries. Field Width Best Fit. Right-click Field Width Best Fit. Okay, once we've completed our best fit, we're going to go ahead and get it print preview in landscape. So we're going to go to File. We're going to go to Print. We're going to go to Print Preview. We're going to check the landscape. Then we're going to close the print preview. So verify, file, print preview, and it's still in landscape. Okay, class, we're done with this table. We're going to go ahead and close that table. If it asks us to save changes, we'll go ahead and save it. Next, we're going to import our other student data file, right, which is the contractor file. So we have to find that file. Remember, again, we saved it on our desktop. It's A01G contractors. We're going to go ahead and open that. We're going to import it in as a new table in a current database. It tells us that we want to let's just verify that the first row contains column headings. I believe that's correct. We are going to do the first row contains column headings. So the ID field is the primary key. We are going to keep it a short text. Oops, I went ahead and got away from me there. So we're just going to keep that the same. The ID field is the primary key, so choose my primary key as the ID field. We're going to name the table. It wants us to name it our last name, first name, contractors. We're going to capitalize that. We're going to go ahead and click the finish. We do not want to save the steps. So there's our next table. It asks us to apply the best fit, so we remember how to do that for all the fields. And all that basically does is just display the information so that we can see it. So once the best fit is complete, we're going to go to File, we're going to go to Print, we're going to go to Print Preview. It wants us to do the landscape, same as the other one. And then from there, we're just going to close the table. It'll ask us to save it. We say yes. Okay, class, so if you're following along in your textbook, we're now on step 6 on page 120. It's asking us to create a query. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the Create tab. We're going to create a query. It wants this to be a simple query, and it's asking us to answer the following questions. Right? It asks us to answer for every site. I actually created the query in the wrong table, so we're going to go ahead and go again. Query, a simple query. It's asking us for every site what is the building project and the budget amount. So it's asking us what 3 things do we need in there for that. So we need site, building project, and budget amount. It's asking us to do a detailed summary of every column, so that's correct. It asks us to, doesn't say how we should name the query, so we'll go ahead and leave it just like that. We're going to go ahead and finish. So there's our query. It does want us to go to Print Preview, so File, Print Preview. And so you're displaying this query. I'm asking the textbook to, as directed, do I want a paper copy or an electronic copy? In this case, I will need neither, because I will be able to see your query as I display it in Print Preview. So that step is not required. Okay, class, the next step is to create a form for record number 7 in the projects table. So we're going to go ahead and click on the projects table. We're going to create a form. We're going to go down to record number 7. From there, we're just going to go ahead and close it. We want to save the changes of the form. And we're going to name it, the book says name it last name, first name, such and such form. Now it does say that you got to go to Print Preview and display the form, but I'm okay with you just doing the form. I could go ahead and get us to record 7, so you do not need to print out anything to do with this form. Okay, class, this concludes part 1. I will continue with part 2 of the video in just a moment.